EP Container was started by Steve Pinsky when he asked his sister Allison to join him in business to become a supplier of containers and other materials for companies which have to dispose of hazardous waste. Over the last decade, the business has continued to grow by diversifying into containers for the food and chemical industries. But while Allison had become an expert in helping companies protect both people and the environment from hazardous waste, she had to learn a hard lesson that running a business without proper financial controls can be hazardous to the bottom line. What are the insights you gained from the business analysis?
Well, John came and spent an afternoon with my partner and I, and during that time, he made my head spin around with lots of questions about our business that I had no idea how to answer. It was like being on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland. And it impressed upon me very much that it was important for me to have this information and to know how to answer those questions. A few months earlier, we had the unfortunate situation of having our bookkeeper embezzle funds from us through payroll. So not only was I interested in protecting our business so that we could have systems in place to protect us in the future, but also to be able to grow our business as well.
Allison, how did our consultants help you improve your business operations?
Well, Tom, Rob Willoughby came to see us and work with us, and we were going to be spending a couple weeks together. And I like to call Rob Sergeant Rob because being with Rob for 2 weeks was like being at business boot camp. Rob is a no-nonsense kind of guy. He came in, he didn't waste any of our time. He kept us right on task. We spent a great deal of time not only learning about business practices in general. I felt like I was attending Harvard Business School. But he very nicely applied those business principles to our company here at EP Container so that we could put it into practical use. We were very interested in the way that he organized our books and set up a budget so that we could keep track of how we were doing throughout the year. And most importantly, there were systems in place so that we could be protected against embezzlement in the future.
How did our consultants help you improve the productivity of your employees?
Rob spent some time with us talking about job descriptions and also about good employee practices. We talked about having a handbook updated. We also talked about employee morale and how important that was, and when you have an unhappy employee, how that's sort of like a cancer that can spread, and that it's very important to keep that in check. He also spent some time looking at our overall expenses with regard to our employees as well as the business in general, and impressed upon how important it is for us to keep our expenses in check and how a percentage of margin just dropped straight to the bottom line, and how we needed to watch our expenses to make sure that we didn't counteract that.
Allison, how did you benefit from the financial reporting system and the financial controls our consultants put in place for you?
Well, Tom, this is really the meat and potatoes of the work that Rob did for us. He brought his own software package in, which had a lot of tools that we desperately needed. He brought us a system to do a budget. We had never done a budget before, and so we felt that this was a very valuable tool to have. And not only did he bring in a software package with many tools to work with, but he also worked with our computer consultant on the accounting system that we already had in place in order for us to tweak it a little bit to be able to have better use of it as well. And so that was a very instrumental part of what he did for us. In addition, he set up a dashboard, and a dashboard for us is a way for us to look at vital information on a weekly basis and also on a quarterly basis, information that we want to look at and we want to keep track of weekly so that we can make sure that we're going in the right direction, and we felt that those tools were just invaluable to us.
How did our consultants help you meet the challenges of doing business in a difficult economy and get ready to grow your business in the future?
Well, I think the most important thing that we gain from our experience with Rob is knowledge. And it's the knowledge that we gained as well as an understanding about the tools and knowing how to use them, which enables us to look at our business on a weekly basis. And when things aren't going good, we're able to act and react so that we don't go down a slippery slope. So the tools of the budget and the dashboard that we have to look at is really key to keeping our business on track. So when sales are up, we can look at margin, we can look at our dashboard, and we can be able to continue to grow. When sales are down, we might be able to make some adjustments in expenses or look at ways that we can still be able to keep our profits.
Allison, what would you say to a business owner who's considering using our analytical and consulting services to improve his business?
Well, Tom, when John, your analyst, first came to see me, he asked me a lot of questions that I had no idea how to answer. And now that I've had some time with Rob, I would invite John to come on back and spend some time with me and ask me those questions again, because I'm ready to answer them. So to my fellow business owners out there in TV land, if you want to grow your business and have a much better understanding of how to run it, I would say clear your calendar and let Business Boot Camp begin.
Allison, describe to me what your business was like before you brought in our team of business experts and how it has changed for the better today.
Well, since my business partner and I had no previous business experience or business education before we started this business, we ran it by the seat of our pants and grew in spite of ourselves. And since we've had the training, it gives me a great deal of peace of mind to know that the buck stops with me and it can stop with me. And I have some knowledge and some power in that I know what to do now when I didn't have the knowledge before. And so now I would be able to trust myself to know when to react, when to act, when not to act, when situations come up that is going to be the best benefit for our company's growth and stability. Last year, we found out that our bookkeeper had embezzled over $100,000 through payroll over the last 6 to 7 years, and that was quite an eye-opening experience for my business partner and I. We felt extremely vulnerable. And now that we have tools in place, we feel better protected so that we know that this won't happen again and we can protect ourselves and our business. And so it's a peace of mind in so many ways. And knowledge is power, and I feel powerful in being the president now, when before I would go to other people and ask them, accountants or, other consultants about how to run my business. And now I know I can run it myself.